Well, we should be about ready to go. We are just a couple of minutes away from Friday night 9-ball. And we've got quite a few people in. I need to get this message out because I don't need people messaging me while I'm streaming. Right, anyway, let's have a look. There's a number of people signed up to this tournament tonight, if we can find them. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15. Well, at the moment it's an even 16, which is good. Again, a quick disclaimer, a quick mention for anybody that happens to be watching or will watch this. This is a working week again, back to work, so again I can stream a couple of hours of this tournament, and no matter where the tournament is or what stage it's at, when it gets to my deadline, I'm going to have to pull the plug. That's the normal course of events when you have to get up at 4 AM in the morning. Right. So a reminder, it's double elimination, race to 7. It's race to 4 on the one loss side. It's handicapped. It's a money ball handicap. No doubt I will forget numerous occasions when the handicap is being used, and so forgive me for that one because I keep forgetting about it. Right, so hopefully nobody's going to message me. That way I just get distracted. Right, so we have a whole stack. Well, we've still got the 3-ball tournament going on as well, but we've got a whole stack of matches. Now, there's a match I'm going to watch straight away between Cobra and Semi-Pro. That's the match of the first round. Let's go at the bracket. We've got 2 high-class players up against one another, and there might not be an awful lot in it in the handicap stakes when it comes to that match, but we're going to be watching that match. Let's have a quick look and see what we've got. We've got Houdini playing Tommy the Welder. Houdini's getting the 7-ball. Black Jagged's playing Columbus. Well, it looks as if we're stuck at the 16, so that makes it a nice even bracket. And that's that match with Black Jagged and Columbus is a scratch match. Gunnett playing Dirties, that's a scratch match. Larry playing whatever the hell name that is, Christian, 1972. And Larry straight away is up against it, 5 and out, he's given away. And Cobra's playing Semi-Pro, and Semi-Pro's getting the 6-ball, and I'll tell you something. That's going to be tough for Cobra because there's no way Semi-Pro can pop balls to get to a 6-ball. DJ Redo and now what does that say? McCold. McCold is getting 6 in out. Is that on the bracket? That red writing needs to get changed because I can't bloody see it looking at it. One Pocket Slim is playing Killer Cat. That's another name I've never heard of. They're getting 5 and out. And Simanx is playing Christed. I wonder if these people are here because they're getting a 9-ball. So there's a few new names I've never seen there. But anyway, let's not hang about and let's get into this Cobra Semi-Pro match. I'm just going to double check Yeah, I've got my chat window on screen. So again, if you're watching, or if there's anybody watching on Twitch or anybody watching on YouTube, all the chat will appear on the actual screen, so you'll see who's typing in YouTube and you'll see who's typing in Twitch. Control and mouse wheel changes the text size. You mean the text size on the chat and the screen? Certainly doesn't work for me. Not unless you're talking about the chat actually on Twitch rather than what's shown on my screen. Anyway, I'm going to focus on this match. Player 2 is semi-pro. He's getting the 6 ball. And Cobra is at the table. And looks as if he's on a break and possible run out here. Now, I've already just told people in the chat twice that I don't want PMs, and you know, what's the admin doing? Sending me a PM? Probably nothing. Anyway, we're just going to shut them down and ignore them tonight. I want to concentrate in the tournament. Sec. Right, I'm not even going to bother with that. That's just a time waster. Good evening. Good evening, Popman, who happens to be watching in Twitch as well. So at least we've got at least 2 people in Twitch, I know that. And in the meantime, see, that's what happens when I get distracted by time wasters just sending me PMs for absolutely no reason. I've lost track there, and Cobra's missed, and I've missed that. And Semi-Pro has stolen the first rack. Of course, he only needed to the 6 ball. Right, let's just check my little doodle. I'm quite confident everything's going to be working okay. Yep, I'm still stuck with the older version of XSplit Gamecaster until they fix this bug, but who cares? As long as it works, I'm happy. Oh, another one on Twitch. Good evening and welcome. We've got a cracking match. Well, we should have a cracking match here between these 2 guys. I mean, these are what you call full professionals at this game. They know what they're doing. So again, when I know that, I'm expecting a very high standard from these guys. The Semi-Pro is trying to run to the long grass. That's not a bad effort. Now, Cobra, well, this will be a brave shot if he's going to try and cut that in. I'd be trying to hide this cue ball. But Cobra knows the danger of leaving Semi-Pro a sniff here, because these balls are all in the open. And you see he feels desperate to actually have a go at that. Now, you know, most people would, I mean, I wouldn't have went for that cut. That's just the way I play the game. I'm more safety conscious. I would never go for that cut, but Cobra felt so desperate to get it, as the consequences of not getting a good safety were that he was going to lose the rack. Now, Semi-Pro is hooked here. We'll see how good he is. And now, what am I talking about? I'm forgetting about the 5 ball. I was too busy looking at the 5 and the 8 ball there, forgot about the 4. Well, this will still be a good shot to get on the 5. And that's a good angle he's got in the 5 as well, because that can bring him behind the 8 ball, in between the 6 and the 8. And the 6 ball into the left middle would be perfect, because then he would have an easy shot getting on the 8. Well, that should be the plan. And Well, it's so easy. I said before the match started, for semi-pro to be getting a 6 ball is ridiculous. I mean, to be honest with you, because regardless of what the points show in the ratings here, we've got two players that are, you know, they're as good as you're going to get at this game probably, and to have one of them getting a 6 ball in a race to 7 is just stupid. And this is what needs to be looked at when ratings are, when anybody with a rating over 200, doesn't matter what the rating is above 200, they should be playing a flat match with no handicap, because it's just silly. Cobra is, I mean, that instance there in that rack where he went for that desperate cut is an example of what players feel forced into doing. You know, just to actually stay at the table and stop their opponent getting in, because the penalty for letting semi-pro in is severe. Cobra's going to lose a rack if it's an open table. He's just not going to get a sniff. So maybe in the next instance, Cobra needs to get a bit more wise and a bit more tactical. You know, because it's just unwise to be going for, you know, probably what, a 30% shot. The odds were not good on that pot going in, and that's how he's now 2-0 down. And a good little combo in the 2-5, but that 2 has now gone in a very awkward place, plus the fact the 3 is not potting anywhere. This is tough as well. Now, here's the problem here. If Cobra cuts the 2, the cue ball is going somewhere up there near that 8 ball, so he's not going to get on the 3. If he does something to avoid the 8 ball, he might put a bit of inside English on it, which would check the cue ball and try and bring it up this way. Well, he's avoided the 8, but again, there was so much traffic, it was always going to be difficult to get up the table, and now again he's in trouble. The only thing in his armoury here is luck, or he gets wise and he ties something up here. Now again, if you look at him, he's looking to kick the 3. The 8 and 9 are open up there. I'd be looking at tying them up. I'd be looking at tying something up, because again, he's given ball in hand, he's scratched, and the table's wide open, so it's going to be 3-0. Now, straight away, he should be thinking about tying something up. Now, even when I thought about that, I forgot the 6 ball still in the table, because that's semi-pro's money ball. He should have tied that up. He should have rolled, you know, just nudged into it and sent it up the table somewhere near the 8 and 9 to try and make it difficult. And he's done nothing other than give him another good opportunity to run out here. And I can't see where this is going to go wrong. And that's perfect. I'd be playing a little soft draggy shot in this 6 ball, just to fall in behind the 8 with the 7. In fact, again, forgot about the handicap again, he didn't even need it. So it's now 3-0, and it's not looking good here for Cobra. There's 2 instances there in those 2 racks where he had the opportunity to play a decent safety somewhere, and he's just, to be honest with you, he's given away 2 racks in a sense by not trying to keep things safe. He's got to protect this 6 ball. He's got to do something to get himself back in this. Oh, good evening, Simon. Oh, Simon's on YouTube. Well, there's more people watching on Twitch than there is YouTube at the moment. That's the first person I've seen on YouTube. Well, Cobra's really feeling the pressure. He didn't really need to think a lot about that 3 ball, because he's got more than enough angle to get onto the 3, and he's missed the 2. Good evening. That's another one for YouTube. YouTube's fighting back. We'll get at least 2 in YouTube. And semi-pro, once again, well, provided he doesn't block himself out here in the 5 ball, he's going to be home and dry in this rack. That's the only thing that can go wrong. And he's got plenty of room here, a whole table to get on this 6 ball. Who's not Simon? DJ is Simon. And Simon Lacey, that's Simanx, I think. Yeah. I'm right in saying that, aren't I? Anyway, we're now at 4-0. Now again, if I was sitting in Cobra's corner, that's the thing I'd be saying to him. If you get a chance and the table isn't open, then for goodness sake, start tying semi-pro up. You know, you've got to do something to change the way the game's going. And semi-pro's broke. The 5 ball's gone in. He's got a shot in the 1. Well, it's now gone wrong. So that 3 ball isn't in a good area either. I mean, that's sitting up there, and it's. I mean, you have plenty of room to get to it, but it's just awkward. Depending on how this 2 ball goes. And I'd be looking at kicking that into the middle pocket. Well, he didn't get the line to do that. He's moved the 3 out. The 6 is open. So this is Cobra's chance. And he, again, in that last rack, he missed a 2 ball thinking about, or was it earlier in this? I've lost track already. Was it the last rack he missed that 2 ball? I think it was. So here's his chance again. I think he's dead straight in this 2. This is ugly. And look at the 3 ball now. Well, no prizes for guessing what he's going to do here. You should bury him in behind the 8 and 6 and nail that cue ball to the 8 and 6. See, that's not nailed. That has got to be right in there, in between the 2 of those balls, to make it difficult to get to the angle on the rail. And that's not difficult to hit. So any latecomers to the stream, guys, again, a reminder, unlike last week when I was on holiday, I managed to do all the tournament. This week we're back to work, and we're up at 4 AM tomorrow morning, so I'll only be here for a couple of hours, and no matter where the tourney is, and I know for a fact the tourney isn't going to finish quick, it's going to go the 4 hours tonight at least, with 16 in it. I'm going to have to pull the plug later on, get to bed. So Cobra, the important shot of the rack is this one, getting up onto that 7. Now that has all gone wrong. That's a disaster. That's the worst thing he could ever do, is nail it to the 9. And things just ain't going to go for you. You're digging holes for yourself. Should have played some 2 good safeties in those earlier racks. This match might have been totally different, because when you don't take those chances and you start getting a bit cute, there's only 1 ball that was ever going to cause a problem there, and that was a 9. So what do? You don't underhit it like that. You make sure you overhit it. And now it's gone even bad to worse. So, of course, semi-pro's extra money ball's gone, but that doesn't matter. He's got ball in hand, and it's going to be 5-0 in a second. And the other thing as well is, of course, for Cobra to survive in this tournament, with a rating of 2,400, no matter who he plays on the 1-loss side, he's going to be given a hefty handicap, and it's only a race to 4. So his odds on going far in this tournament have dramatically lengthened, because I've more or less written him off in this match. 5-0. And Semi-Pro has come up dry. So Cobra has a wide open table. A little fiddly shot in the 1 ball, but if he can get on this 2, there's no reason again why he shouldn't run this table. It's just an invitation to stick balls into pockets here. Now, I don't know whether he can avoid clipping that 6. No, he couldn't. Oh, things just ain't going to work for him at all. He's now can't get to the potting angle of that 2 ball, so he's going to have to jump it. He's going to have to jump the 6 to make any potting angle on that 2. And ideally, for him to get the pot, he just wants to run up the table and, well, it never rains but it pours. And Cobra is usually a pretty good jumper when I've seen him playing, and that's probably not one he wants to remember. He's scratched again, ball in hand to Semi-Pro. 6 ball wide open in the middle of the table, and well, he's just going to draw back far enough to take the 4 in past the 9, and he's underhit that by a fair margin. And again, he had a big margin of error. The big margin of error means he's got plenty of room to draw it back to here and play that 4 ball, because even then, if he had that angle, he could still go around and come out for the 5, and then he just needs to come back off the 5 for the 6. It's so easy, but he's making it difficult for himself, and now it's all gone wrong for Semi-Pro. Now, what does he do? Is he going to go for the bank? It's not a good bank. Or is he just going to play this chicken shit rolling up to the 5? You know, he's trying to hide behind a 9. Got that too thick. But even this shot for Cobra, the pressure's on. It's an easy enough pot down the rail, but he can't underhit it. He has to get that cue ball out to here. He doesn't want to be leaving it short, and he doesn't want to be going to here. And that'll do it. Well, if you look, as I say, there's no way Semi-Pro should be getting the 6 ball. It definitely needs to be. It definitely needs to be fixed. When you have players who are champ standard, and one of them's getting a 6 ball in a race to 7, it's just entirely unfair. Now this is again a danger shot. He needs to watch. He's going to have to put a bit of bottom on this, and he's going to come across to get this 9. He needs to watch the middle pocket. Now he's decided he's not risking it. He's going to leave the long cut. Probably the wise move, but he needs to have a look at that potting angle of the 9 first. Well, there's enough. I think there's enough people mention it, but I don't know whether anybody's actually contacted Steve and said, look, you need to do something. He's done something as far as the rating goes. He's levelled it at 3,000. Nobody can be over 3,000. Well, he has to do something about how the handicap works. And when you get anybody that's 2,200 and over and playing anybody in a tournament, then there should be no handicap if they meet somebody of a similar or higher handicap. It just spoils the game. But anyway, Cobra has at least got rid of the bagel, as they say in the States. He's now trailing 5-1 at the table, and again, wide open table, absolutely no excuse whatsoever not to run this table. Now, He doesn't want to get cute here. He wants to make sure he's going to have this cue ball looking at the 4. By hook or by crook. He doesn't want to finish anywhere near the 6. So he's left the gap. And that's a bit straight. And that's a problem. It's a problem. He's going to have to judge the pace to get onto this 5. And that's actually not bad. It's into a slightly blind pocket. But he's got plenty of room to drop onto the 6 here. Into the same pocket. That's going to rattle. He's hung it up. That's the perils of going into a semi-blind pocket when you're not looking at the actual pocket itself. Now, handicaps are handicaps, but there has to be a point in this. No, 2,400 rating. Cobra does most of that in challenge rooms, so he does. Semi-pro's 2,200 because he doesn't play as much online. These two players are very, very evenly matched, and the handicap is just a spoiler. It's not needed. Well, if you look at it from the point of view, it's a bit like Shane Van Boning playing Earl Strickland or whatever in a race to 7-9 ball, and you were given either of them the 6 ball. They would both laugh at you. You know, two professionals playing would never have a handicap like that. And in this game, it's pretty nigh the same. You just can't have a handicap at this level. It just spoils the game entirely. So semi-pro on the hill. No, Mal's another one. He got his rating from winning the 9-ball tournament at one time. And when he does play online, he loses very rarely. So again, that's why his ratings are way up. But it has to be said, though, that certainly 3 of the racks, if not 4, Cobra's more or less sold them down the Swanee River by missing and getting out of shape. Now, why did he turn? Now, I've missed that there. Who's watching this? Because I'm just reading the chat there. Why was the turn passed? Now, what did Semi-Pro do that? And Cobra passed it back to him for some reason. Was he being a nice guy or something? I've totally missed that. I wish I'd been paying attention. Right, so it was a push out. Right, who pushed out? Right, was it Semi-Pro that pushed out and then Cobra pushed it back? Right, aye. Well, I could understand that because, as I said, you know, Semi-Pro, he's mostly an 8-ball player, 8-ball pub player, or a black ball player on the tiny toy table. So, you know, there's a strong chance he doesn't know all the ins and outs of 9-ball. Not that there's a lot to know, but I'm assuming that's what happened. Anyway, Semi-Pro just about to finish the match. Just roll the 6-ball into the top right-hand corner and that's it. Well, Cobra's going to have a lot of hard work ahead of him in the rest of this tournament if he's to survive. So, Semi-Pro runs away with it, 7 racks to 1. As I say, the handicap didn't help, but Cobra didn't help himself. He made too many mistakes. So there's the first result through. And the bracket will update. Semi-pro through to round 2. Now, what's happening in these matches? Let's have a look. One Pocket Slim is given 5 and out to Killer Cat, and it's 4 racks all. And Larry is given 5 and out, and it's 4 racks all in that match as well. Well, I'm going to have a look at this One Pocket Slim match, because there's a player there that I've never seen, this Killer Cat. Let's find out where they're from. Well, I've got an Italian flag, and he's unrated, so he's obviously just a new player. It certainly looks like it. Now, and of course, the perils of giving 5 and out is that Slim can't make mistakes. And I can tell you straight away, this Killer Cat, there's no way he's a 1500 rated player. So he's either one of two things. He's either a player who's played a lot offline, or he's another player who's changed a profile and went for the Italian flag. He definitely looks as if he's got a better idea of what he's doing in a 1500 rating. So, One Pocket Slim, again looking to hide the cue ball. How's he done? Let's have a look. Well, he's done okay as far as the potting angle's concerned in the 1. Killer Cat can see the 1. Well, Slim, straight in 1 ball. Now, let's have a look at this 4. The 4's the immediate problem. It's not sitting in a good position. Now, Slim, if he can get good in this 3, he would ideally want to be like there on the 3, or somewhere like that, to pot the 3 and then run into the 9 and 4 and try and open them. He's hampered by this 5 ball, that doesn't help. What's he going to do? Is he going to run through? Right, let's see if he's got the angle. Well, he's nowhere near that then. He's well short. He should have been at least here. So he's short by 4 or 5 inches. The cue ball's going to be going that way. Well, if he can find that gap. Now, where's he going? Is he going to get a nice kiss? Oh, that's unlucky. Well, I don't know whether he looked at, excuse me, I don't know whether he looked at that 5, the 4 and 9, because there's a gap past the 5 ball, and if he could have gotten over to here, he could have potted the 4 that way. But he made a good effort at getting to the split. Well, like I say, this Killer Cat guy, we'll see how good he is at getting on the 5. So if it wasn't a push out, then it was illegal. You can't do that. Where the hell? Look at the, oh shit, wrong button. Hang on a minute. So that's another rack. Killer Cat on the hill. Hang on a minute to get this bloody thing to work. I can't remember what I'm doing here. That's what I need to do. To be honest, never seen you play pool before, so you're human at least. Right. I fouled. I was playing well just before. I was blah 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 blah. Right, let's have a look. Maybe I should ignore real rules and focus on rules here instead. It didn't help me. You didn't play them, blah blah. No, I wish I'd actually paid proper attention. I keep hitting the wrong bloody button tonight. My fingers are like bloody bananas. Right. That's better. I'll need to watch this once I'll watch it some other time, but I'll watch it tomorrow probably. I'll watch the rerun on YouTube tomorrow to see exactly what happened. Well, it doesn't matter what happened. If the simple thing is, if it was not a push out option, then there's no way they should be passing turn. That's it. Period. Well, there's a couple of results came in. Gunnet and Dirties. Gunnet is through 7 racks to 3. And Christed, which is another name I've never heard of, they've sent Simax to the one lost side. Well, we're now at the critical point here for Slim because the 5-ball money ball is still there. Well, that's not a ruling 9 ball as far as I'm concerned. Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to watch it. I'll watch it played back, and then I'm going to query it with them. I mean, it sounds a bit fishy to me. Well, Slim's got one back, and he's potted a 5 in the break, which is one good thing because that's one of the extra money balls gone. He's gone all out for the bank. I suppose, well, you could say it was maybe worth a try, but not when you look at where the 2 ball is. Well, let's see how good Killer Cat is at getting on this 2. There's a bit of traffic, but if he gets lucky, he can have a shot in the 2. Well, he's got a shot, but it ain't potting it from there. Well, there's an opportunity here for Slim to well, he can certainly get a couple of balls. He can have the 2, the 3 and the 4. An obvious thing is that when he gets to that 6 ball, he's got the same problem he had with that 9 and 4 in the last rack. He has to find a way of disturbing that 7 ball. And if he can't do that, then he has to get a good safety. Let's have a look. Well, there's an angle there. There's an angle there to actually firmly stun this cue ball. And whether he can just nudge into the 7, I don't know. The angle is there, but he's going to have to force this. Yeah, it was always a doubt with the angle that he had. So now he's got to get this safe. And that will do. I'll have a quick drink. Now, of course, when a situation we see all the time when a player's given 5 and out, Slim's the one under pressure not to make a mistake. As soon as he leaves a sight on this 7 ball for his opponent, they're going to have an option to have a pot at it. There another result came in. Houdini's beaten Tommy the Welder 7 racks to 4. Now Slim, he's looking at some sort of combo here, or billiard maybe. No, he's Just trying to tie him up. That's a good shot. That's good from the point of view that Killer Cat's going to maybe have a slam at this. And it more than likely will open up the 8 ball as well. Well, he's misjudged that. Now that was more evidence of like a 1500 rated player, because, you know, that wasn't a difficult kick to read that off the end rail onto the 7. So Slim's got a chance to take this to a final rack decider. And that, he should be okay, because the 7 ball's off the rail. He's got a nice angle in the 8. And he needs to dig into this cue ball a wee bit just to stop the cue ball wanting to run into the corner. The cue ball just wants to go that way. So he wants to stop it doing that and get a little bit of dig on it. Well, he's playing top on this, is he? No, he is digging. He's digging in now. He wants to go up to that right side. He's followed the line, and that should do him nicely. So, Slim will have the opportunity to break in this final rack. But the worst possible thing has happened. He scratched in the break. Now here's the test of the quality of his opponent. The 5 ball has gone in the break. So now Killer Cat has got the 1 ball, the 2, the 3, the 4 and the 6 to actually win this match. So we're going to get a better judgment of how good this Killer Cat guy is. And I think well, I thought he was actually just going to push the 1 ball to the rail and bury Slim behind the 2. Well, he doesn't want to run into this 2 ball. The angle he's got there, he's going to hit the 2. Right, he's avoided that. And he's okay in the 2. Can drop in behind the 3. So the only thing that can save Slim here is the angle that Killer Cat is going to get on this 4 ball, because that will then determine how good he can get on the 6 for the match. And he's overcut it. Oh, I think he's maybe feeling the pinch. So Slim has his chance. And of course, Slim has to run the table. Cannot, once this 4 ball goes in, Slim cannot afford a mistake. Well, nothing fancy here. Just roll that 6 in past the 8, and he'll have a straight 7 ball. And it all looks plain sailing to me now. But like I said earlier, whoever Cobra meets on the 1 loss side is going to be struggling with a handicap, because it looks like Killer Cat is going to be nipping over to the 1 loss side, and he's going to be getting 5 and out against most people. So Slim, what was he, 6-4 down? Well, that's a good comeback. And he's won the match 7 racks to 6, and there's a fair few results come through there. So let's have a look at the update. I don't think I saw the Larry match coming through yet. What's happening in the Larry match? Well, Larry's is 6-all. Let's dive in there. So Larry, final rack decider. So that's the 2 guys that were given 5 and out are both been taken to final rack deciders. And what the hell's Larry doing here? Is he going far enough? Well, he's should be okay. And that cue ball should be coming off there and going across here. Oh, A wee bit more angle in this 9. So this for the match. So Larry wins 7-6. Well, there's one good thing to be said. If these two, this Christian 1972 and this other guy, what was his name? Something Cat, Killer Cat. If they're both genuinely new players, then at least that's a good sign. That there's a couple of people have stumbled across the game or decided to go online. One of the two. Let's look at it in the positive side. Let's say that they are new players. I haven't even looked at their profiles to see how long, but I know that that Killer Cat was shown as unrated. So if they are new, that's good. Anyway, back to the tournament. So Slim is now going to be playing Crested and going to be given 5 and out to them as well. So Slim's got his work cut out in this tournament. That's 2 matches he's going to have, one after the other, and both of them are 5 and out. We've got Houdini is waiting on the winner of Black Jagged and Columbus. Black Jagged 6-4 up. Let's nip into that match, see how that finishes. So it's a scratch match, no handicap. Columbus at the table. Now you see that shot there he's just played. My automatic pilot, when I'm looking at a shot like that, tells me just to run around the angles and come out. He's left himself another one of these blind pocket shots. And everything now is left at distance. So now again, a tough cut on this 7. He could go for the bank, but it has to go in clean because the 9 ball's a blocker if he's banking into this bottom right hand corner here as we look. Now there's a danger also of running into this 8 ball if he plays the cut into the top right. Now he's went for the bank, but he's way off the line with that one. And Black Jagged's going to have exactly the same problem here. An awkward cut in this 7, but he needs to hit it hard enough to get the cue ball back down the table. If he's going to cut this in there, he has to have the cue ball coming up to here, at least, to give him a better sight on this 8. He could have played it more powerful with a bit of side on it, a bit of English to get the cue ball back that way, but that will do for the time being. And that's far too heavy on the pot, because look at where the cue ball is. It had to be a cut with the pace to take the cue ball just across there, and he's malleted that. This is another opportunity for me to have a rant about controlling your pace, and Black Jagged didn't do that there. I still think his mouse settings are wrong. This match should be over. So Columbus, to stay alive, a gentle little cut down the right hand rail to get back within 1. And we'll have the break. And, well, we've got a few problems here. Black Jagged's got no great shot in the 1. He could try and play a billiard from the 1 onto the 2, or he could try cutting the 1 onto the 2, which is hanging over the right middle pocket. Well, the assumption there is that he didn't play to play the 1 onto the 2. He's went for the hook. We'll give him the benefit of that doubt, but it's not tight enough. He's left enough room to jump over the 4. And in goes the 1, and that's unlucky. Unlucky to roll through and tuck in behind the 3. Now, here's an opportunity to try to take a chance here. Leave yourself an angle in the 2 to pot it. Well, he's going the other way. He should actually be planning ahead here. Now, he's going to do 1 or 2 things. He can pot the 2 and take a risk and run into these balls here. The 4 does pot, but it means that you have to pot the 3 and leave a good angle to cut that 4. Now, as it stands now, he's now got to rely on luck, because if he just rolls this 3 in gently, he's going to leave a long cut on this 4. And he's obviously going to move things here now. But everything's up in the air as far as where these balls are going to end up. He's got the 4, and the 5's pretty much gone safe. Now, what does he do? Does he go for the bank? He's going to have to make the bank because it's not set into that left middle pocket. But even so, again, you've got to think about the safety. The safety's there. You cut that 5 onto the rail and back to the end rail and get the cue ball up here out the way. Or you do that, that's just as good. During your game, now who are we talking about here? Are we talking about Cobra? During my game with the past turn, I broke. Now, who's I? Is that semi-pro? You broke, then pushed out, and Cobra passed back, and then you filled. In real life, this is not allowed. In 9 ball. Right, so no, from what I'm reading there, you broke off, you pushed out, he passed back, and you filled. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And that's what happens in real life, yeah. Right, maybe I'm picking it up wrong then. Anyway, this match is over. Black Jagged a little roll in the 9 for a 7-5 win. He passed back after a foul, after you fouled. No, he can't do that. After you foul, it's his ball in hand. I think is it no what is it, 10 ball you can pass back if you've no got a shot or something? I can't remember myself, but certainly I've never seen it in 9 ball. Larry's the man to ask about that kind of stuff. Right, back to the tournament. What time is it? Just after 10 to 9. So Black Jagged's through to play Houdini. Their match will be up and running in a minute or two. I don't know whether that's it set. It looks like a scratch match. I don't see a handicap. We've got Gunnett playing Larry, and Gunnett's getting 5 and out. Larry's up 1-0. Semi-Pro's now playing DJ Redo. DJ Redo getting the 7 ball. The 7 ball's actually not a bad handicap for DJ Redo if he can get a chance. And One Pocket Slim, who's given 5 and out to Christed, is 3-2 up in that match. Now, the one lost side, Killer Cat is through 4-0 against Simanx, and he was what was he getting there? I cannot read that. I think it's a 5-ball. I can't see it properly. We've got Cobra up against McCold 711, and Cobra is 1-0 up in that match, given 5 and out. Dirties is playing Christian 1972 in the 1-loss side, and Christian is getting the 7 and 8 balls, and is 1-0 up. And the final match on the 1-loss side is Tommy the Welder against Columbus, and Columbus is getting the 5-ball. So all the 1-loss side matches are underway, and we've got all the matches in the winner's side underway as well. Now the question is what one to get and watch here. I think we'll go in and watch. We'll go in and watch this semi-pro DJ redo one, because I think that 7-ball handicap is a reasonable handicap for DJ redo. The only thing, as I said, is that that's provided he gets a chance. And right now, it doesn't look as if he's going to get much of a chance in this remaining the balls of the first rack. Yes, yeah, after the push out, a player can pass back if you don't like the table. That's standard in 9-ball. But as far as I'm aware, in 9-ball, if somebody fouls and you don't like the table in 9-ball, you've got ball in hand. I've never seen anybody pass it back. In fact, I don't think I've ever played a game of 9-ball in virtual pool in all the years I've played it where anybody's passed it back, just because they don't like the table after a foul. Right, so we're into rack number 2. This is a winner side match, race to 7, and DJ Redo getting the 7-ball, and now, was that the fact that Semi-Pro didn't call the push out there? What happened in that shot? Anyway, DJ Redo decided he was going to have a go at the 9. And the 7-ball, DJ Redo's extra money ball, is wide open. It's there for the taking. Problem ball's going to be that 4-ball. Now, Semi-Pro can just roll through. And anything but straight on this 4 would be ideal. And that's pretty straight, so he'll just draw back to the pocket and roll the 5 into the top right hand corner as we look. Unless he wants to try and draw back to the, leave it in the middle. No. He should be okay. If ever I've got a criticism about guys who are getting handicaps in this tournament, you know, the ones that are getting, you know, 6 and out and stuff like that, their strategy, they don't have a, you know, most of them don't have a strategy to their game at all. You know, it doesn't, you know, you might be getting a hefty handicap in your favour, but it still takes a bit of common sense to let you have the benefit of that handicap. You can't rely on the other guy missing and you just stepping in and potting a ball to win a rack. That's the way most of them do it. But early on in the rack, they should be getting wise and, you know, messing the other guy about if there's no good shot on. But, you know, there's a lot more to these pool games and billiard games than just trying to pot balls. One good aspect is stopping your opponent potting balls, and you know, you just don't see guys. A lot of guys don't improve, or they don't look to bring any other aspects to the game. It's just a case of potting a ball on sight if they see it. If you want to improve yourself in this game, the opportunity is there for everybody to do it. It's a question of whether you're prepared to put in that little bit of effort and you're prepared to absorb what you're seeing the other guy doing. If you're playing somebody that's 2,200 or 2,400 and you're getting a handicap and you're wondering why you're not getting many chances, then it's because the other guy's thinking about what he's doing. He's got that cue ball fairly well under control, and if the balls are lying open, he's running the table, which is what you should be aspiring to do over a period of time. And this is why in this match DJ Redo has a good opportunity with a seven ball extra money ball, but how many opportunities is he going to get? And if he's just going to sit back there relying on semi-pro missing and leaving them an easy out, then he's going to have a long wait probably. Well, it's gone wrong. And that's, well, it's a good bank, the 8 ball, and it's an extremely thin cut. But the cue ball's going to be running all over the place if he tries to play that. So, to me, the obvious shot's the bank. But you've got to get that cue ball moving, because that 9's tight to the top rail. And the double kiss, what's going to happen here? Well, this is one of these instances where DJ Redo is now going to benefit from the mistake, provided he doesn't run into the 9. So he needs to get digging into that cue ball and draw away from the 9 if he can. If it's possible, let's have a look. I don't think he can. He could maybe avoid it hitting the rail. Ah, he's come around. That was well played. And that 9's off the rail, so should be a fairly straightforward cut. So he's got himself off the mark. Staring at 3-0 there. Semi-pro left it well short, getting off. Where's the cue ball going? Oh, you don't want to be hitting him at that pace and taking those kind of risks. Anyway, all that matters for DJ Redo is he's off the mark. He's got the break. And the break is dry. Once again though, the extra money ball is wide open in the middle of the table. The problem ball is the 4 ball. Now where it is not doing anybody any favours. It's only going into one pocket. And it's obvious that it can be potted from here. But you've got to get there. And he's pretty straight on the 2. Well, he's quite a clever player, but he's going to have to give us more evidence that he is, if he's going to benefit in this match and make use of that 7 ball. Long way to go yet. He's off the mark. That's what matters. Now here's the important shot. And well, this is going to take a bit of magic here to get on this 4 ball. There's a bit much traffic in the way. He's playing inside English to check the cue ball. And needs a bit of luck. And he ain't got it. Now, once again, what does semi-pro do? Is he going for the kick? Now, if he goes for the kick, the danger here is he's opening up the 7. I would just be, again, playing a deliberate foul. Well, he's hit the 4. He's played it at the right pace. So it's actually worked out not too bad. Because the danger was opening up the 7. But as it is, he'd left it safe. DJ Redo nearly potted the 4. And, well, now's the opportunity for semi-pro. The 7 ball is still awkward, although it's should be easy enough to go over to that left-hand side to pot the 7 in the top right. But it's probably not going to get that far. Semi-pro's got the only option here of a 5-9 combo. And in goes the 9. And semi-pro opens the gap again to 2 racks. Well, had that 7 ball gone in there, it could have been also different there for DJ Redo. Well, this is a bit of a mess. Well, whoever pots the 3 balls, you're going to have a decent angle on the 3 from like there, so that this bunch of balls here can be moved, and then just rely on a bit of luck, because there's nothing happening at this end if that 3 ball just gets potted plain and the 4 ball isn't moved. Something's got to be disturbed at this end. Well, provided semi-pro can avoid the 8 ball, which he should do, he could put a bit of top and left English on this to punch the cue ball around the angles and get up the table. He needs to get high up the table if he's going to have any good opportunity to... Well, he's hit the 8. And he had the angle in the 3 there to run into the 6 and the 4. And the billiard from DJ Redo from the 2-9 puts paid to any messing about with the 3 ball. Very quickly gets that 1 rack back. But can't buy a ball in the break. Nothing has gone. Well, semi-pro could get dirty here and get that cue ball up by the 9 ball, but he's went all out for the 1. That's a good shot. Could have tied DJ Redo up there, but he's gone all out for it. Well, you would think, provided he can pot this 2 and 3 and get on the 4, this rack should be over. Now, I don't know how straight he is on this. He's actually dead straight. He's going to have to kill this stone dead here and leave the cut in the 4. Again, he can check inside on this 4 so that he comes that way rather than coming anywhere near the 6. Doesn't want to take the risk, and he's avoided that. So I suppose the only problem here is getting from the 7 onto the 8, and I say this every week. Whenever you've got the object ball there and you're coming from this end of the table or the other way, you don't want to go on the short side. But in this case, the ball's high enough up the table. If you go on the short side, you can take it in the middle. You certainly don't want it to be here. But anywhere there or there is perfect for this 8 ball. And there's a good angle, plenty of angle on the 7. So it's all about the pace. Another couple of results come through. Now again, semi-pro has come square onto this 8 ball. This is not easy. He's making life difficult for himself. So a couple of results come in. Christian has beaten Dirties, and he's played that well. Nice cut. And One Pocket Slim has beaten Christed by 7 racks to 3. And so Semi-Pro opens the gap again and goes to 4-2. Have we seen a ball in the break in this match? I don't remember seeing one. There's nothing gone again. Well, straight away we've got a problem. We'll get the 3 and 8 tied up. Nothing doing up there. Well, there's the immediate danger here for Semi-Pro, and this is where he's got to be thinking in his feet, is that 7 ball. And now, of course, he's having to jump over the 6 to get to the 1, and the 7 ball's hanging over the pocket. He wants to get rid of that, and at least force DJ Redo with ball in hand. Now, the likelihood of DJ Redo running out here is very slim, because the 3 ball's tied up. So that is a wise move. Get rid of the problem ball, and don't leave yourself open to your opponent smacking a ball into that money ball and winning the rack. So DJ Redo's now going for the other option. He's going for the 3 foul, and that looks pretty good. That is not easy to hit. And where that 1 ball is, if Semi-Pro doesn't get anywhere near these balls, he's going to be staring a 3 fouling out. That's a brilliant shot. That's really unlucky. Lots of English to distort the angle off the rail to send that cue ball back up this side of the table. And he's now going to be, well, he should be nailed to this 4 ball. That cue ball should be stuck on this 4 when he punches the 1 ball up the table. If he leaves any sort of decent gap on this shot, Semi-Pro is just going to be jumping over the 4. Now, I don't know what the hell he's doing here. He should be pushing the 1 onto the side rail and sticking that cue ball right on the 4 and try and get as much distance on that 1 ball up the table. Well, see, that's not a difficult ball to hit. He needed to get that stunned up the table. It's an easy ball to hit. You just kick it off the rail. He wanted to get that a mile away from there. Well, it's 3 fouls anyway. He's found a gap. And DJ Redo has won the rack. A strange way to do it. I thought, well, surely Semi-Pro can't miss hitting that ball off the side rail, but he managed to find a gap. And by the skin of his teeth, DJ Redo's won that rack on the 3 fouls. So he's back to within 1. And this time he's got a ball in the break. The 3 ball has gone. And he's going to run too far. Far too much pace on it. Well, if he tries to be cute and just clip that 2 and send it that way, and send the cue ball that way, he needs to watch the pace if he's going to use these 2 balls as blockers. So he looks as if he's going the other way. The 2 squeezes past the 5. But he's going to have to do something to get on this 4 because the cue balls want to run into the 9. Well, that was clever, but he's not tight enough behind the 8. And once again, it's not a difficult ball to kick anyway, next to that 9 off the side rail. Semi-Pro going for the jump. And I don't think Semi-Pro gets a lot of practice with the jump cue. Again, for the fact that he doesn't play a lot of 9 ball. So it can be excused for that. Because that's the way I jump in 9 ball as well. I'm useless with the jump cue. So ball in hand for DJ Redo. An important visit here. And of course, remember, he needs just to the 7 ball to win the rack, but more important now is it's a very strong chance to square the match up. Now this is a bit well, he's got a little angle, but that's got to bounce. He's way short, but once again you've got a big margin of error. The worst thing you can do is overhit that shot and send a cue ball up the table. Even if he'd ran away to there, he would have still had the cut. And now he's had to try and cut that, scratched off it, and he's lost the rack. You're much better venturing on the overhit than you are trying to be really accurate when you've got so much of a margin for error. You know, anywhere up that table, up to that middle pocket, and you would have still had the cut. You'd have still had the cut in that ball. So, semi-pro can breathe a sigh of relief there. He was looking at a tied match, but he's been gifted a win on this rack, and he goes back into a 2-rack lead, 5 racks to 3. Well, something went in there in the top right. What one was it? The 5 ball? 5 balls gone, no shot in the 1. So there's a thin clip in the 1, but you can try and hide behind the 6 if you hit that hard enough. Didn't quite get there. Well, this 2-ball cuts down the rail. I know if this was Larry playing this shot, he'd be going all out for the 1. He wouldn't be thinking twice. Semi-pro had a go at it. He's missed it. And now a wide open opportunity here for DJ Redo. Now what does he do? He's got a slightly more of an angle on the 2 than he needs. He can just roll it in gentle, but he's going to leave himself a distant shot in the 3 to get to this 4. The 4's hiding up there behind the 9. Plenty of room to get to it. Let's see if he can. He needs to avoid hitting anything. He's avoided the 7. And he now needs a nice little angle, and he's got the nice little angle. So he can now run off the side rail, maybe with a little bit of spin, and get somewhere up here. Anywhere in this area is where he wants to get to make the cut in that 6. And he's just got there. He's got the pace dead weight. Now the other problem now is he's going to try and pinch a bit of angle to stun out for the 7, because he's managed to do that as well. That was a good shot. So this to get back within 1. And that now shows that DJ Redo, when he sets his mind to it, can take that opportunity. Now the 7 ball's going in the break. That will get respotted, because that's the extra money ball. And that's a good sign for his chances in what's left of this match. That if those balls are lying open and he gets a chance and he takes his time and uses his head like he did there, then he's got a very good likelihood of getting to that money ball. And that was a perfect example of where the 7 ball was a good money ball, a good handicap to be getting. Because he took the opportunity, and it's got him right back into the match. And semi-pro is going to need a bit of magic here. It's a distant shot to be jumping. Is he going to get over that 7 from there? Yes, he is. Excellent. Now what does he do? If he plays the cut that way into that pocket, he's going to have to muscle into these and rely on a bit of luck to get a shot in the 4. That's the problem. It's asking a lot to try and play a 3-ball combo. And he's played it well though. And he's got the right pace. 3 balls still open. That's a good shot. He's got to back himself all the way here now. Again, a gentle little roll through, but wants to use that little angle to come off the rail slightly. And that looks okay. He's got plenty of room here. He could draw it back if he wants onto the rail and out for the 7, or if he could go round the corner, go forward if he wants. A little gentle drawback. Well, did he play it for the other side? He's left himself one of these awkward cuts. But he has the angle to cut the 7 and run in and get out for the 8. Into that same pocket there, into the corner. And he's almost right on the spot. That will do nicely. So semi-pro now needs one more for the match. He now leads by 6 racks to 4. Well, this tournament's well underway now, but there's still a long way to go in it. Semi-pro breaking off in rack number 11. And it's yet another dry break. Now, well, DJ Redo knows the consequences here. The table's wide open. He's left the 1 ball on the table, and I think his chance is now gone, because semi-pro should clear up from here with this chance. Easy enough to get onto the 2 into the left middle. And of course, if there was any problem, it would have been the 4 ball, but the 4 ball's a combo onto the 6 over the top left hand corner, which it looks like it's going to be. And the only slight snag with the 4 ball onto the 6 is that the 4 ball is going to have to make the cut on that 6, and this could go wrong. This is not as cut and dried. Is he trying to squeeze it in? Yeah, I thought that was right on the rail. Must have been a wee bit off the rail. It's gone in. This is where you want to be sitting ideally on this 8 ball, like that or like that. Because either way, you've got an angle to drop behind the 9, or you can come off the rail and come out for the 9. That's your choice of shots. He's finished dead straight, so all he's going to do, well, he's dead straight for that, but he doesn't want to be dead straight like that on the 8. Let's see. Well, he's gone the inside, so he's going to just roll to the rail. He's going to take the first option, and he'll just roll through to there with that angle. He's leaving himself short again. He's under hitting these slightly. Shouldn't be any problem though. This for the match. So semi-pro marches on and wins the match against DJ Redo by 7 racks to 4. And we'll get a quick update on the bracket here. That match still to update, but we've got lots of other matches well underway. We've got Houdini playing Black Jagged. There's no handicap in that match. And Houdini's up by 4 racks to 3. Gunnett is playing Larry, and Gunnett's getting 5 and out, and Larry's up 5-4. The results just come through for semi-pro, and semi-pro is going to be playing One Pocket Slim. But I think what we'll do is we'll join their match after we've seen the finish of the Larry Gunnett match. And I'll have a quick drink while I'm at it. So Larry's at the table, leading by 5-4, and Gunnett, player 1, is getting 5 and out. And I haven't a clue what Larry played there, Maybe it was the old jinx of me joining the room that done it. In fact, Larry's clipped to 6. That's exactly what he's done. Well, there's a gift and a half. And Larry's back to the old routine, gifting opportunities for opponents. So, the match has gone 5 racks all, and what a time to join the match. Well, Gunnett's breaking from the far side of the table. I always find it if you break from the far side, they never seem to break good, but he's, you know, they broke not bad. But nothing's gone down. They broke right. I think Larry can see enough of the 1 to pot it. He certainly can. Well, it's going to be an interesting finish to this match. And as I say, as soon as this match is finished, we'll nip into the One Pocket Slim Semi-Pro match. I don't think there'll be much in the way of handicaps going in that match. It might be a... In fact, let's have a quick look at the bracket. Yeah, it's a scratch match. Larry's got to get an angle on this 3 ball up the rail. And he's going to have to maybe help it a wee bit with spin. Probably finish somewhere over by that right middle pocket. He needs to watch it. He's avoided the scratch. And it's all gone wrong. Didn't want to hit the 5, and now all his eggs into one basket here. If he's going to go for the pot, it's going to either be the reverse bank into the right middle or the bank into the bottom right. And then of course the other thing is he's got to get a shot in the 6. And he's missed the bank, and it's another mistake. And if Gunnett can jump this 7 ball, surely can he see the 5, can he? No, he can't see the 5 to pot it, so he's going to have to... No, I don't think he fancies jumping. So Larry can breathe a sigh of relief here, provided Gunnett can't spin round this 7 and make the pot. Well, he's missed it. Well, if Gunnett was any good with the jump cue, which clearly he isn't, or he's not confident enough with it, or he might not even have one. Well, Larry's got ball in hand now, and it's still not a dead set. This 6 ball is just in an awkward place. I mean, there's a very narrow gap to get on that 6 ball, and he's found it. But what a great opportunity Gunnett had there if he was brave enough to try the jump. But maybe the jump shot's not something in his armoury, or he would have played it. But any other player there would have probably jumped at and won the rack. So Larry with the 7 and the 9 can go to the hill. And we'll have the break in the penultimate rack. Ball goes in the break. Oh, look at the mess down here at the bottom end of the table. Well, he's hampered by the 3 ball. He's got a thin cut in the 1. He's got no shot in the 2. So, just looking to hide the cue ball in behind the 5. That's well played. Judged the pace of that one well and got it tight. And now Gunnett doesn't want to be slamming at this 1 ball. because he doesn't want to disturb these other balls. That 2, 7 and 9 are tied up, and he's just freed the 7 ball and given Larry ball in hand, and the 2 ball now has a clean path to that corner pocket. Well, it goes into that one as well. It's just a bit more tight. It's whether, you know, that 2 ball pot is easier provided you can get as straight as you can on it into that pocket. But well, that's pretty damn good. That's pretty nigh perfect because you can just drop onto the 3. Well, there's the problem for Larry. Is potting that 6 ball, which he either wants to be potting from that angle or from this angle when he pots that 6, because that way he can get down onto the 7, or he can get down onto the 7 there. Well, what the hell's happened here? Larry's missed a 3, concentrating and getting on the 5, and it's another gift. And as long as Gunnett doesn't hook himself, we're going all the way in this match. Oh dear. A little roll in the 5, and it's Gunnett breaking in the final rack decider. 6 racks all. And there's balls dropping in all over the place here. Cue ball still on the table. Right, the 7 and 9 have gone. Sorry, the 7 and 8 have gone. They're money balls, so they're back out on the table. There's no shot in the 1, so Gunnett just has a push out. Now, what does he do here? Does he push into that 6 and 9? Well, he doesn't. So that's a sort of safety net for both players. Whoever comes to the table and starts potting balls, because the 6 and 9 are tied up. And that makes it even more interesting in the outcome of this match, because Gunnett doesn't need the 6 and 9. And the worst thing he'd have ever done there was roll into them and split them. So he's now left Larry a problem to deal with if he gets that far. Well, Gunnett there got lucky. He found a gap and avoided hitting the 6 and 9. He's missed a 1, and he's left Larry absolutely no shot. Well, there's no way he's getting to that 1 ball. Not from where I'm looking. He's going to try the Massey around the 2. Well, this is just a hit and hope to judge the spin around this 2. That's an excellent effort, Larry. That's a superb shot. There's a shot of the night there, folks. That deserves a round of applause. Even I liked that one. That was excellent. You have to judge the spin around that object ball to get to that 1, and he judged it perfect. But like I said earlier, well, he's missed a 2 as well. He's missed a 2, but that is not a difficult shot to kick in for Gunnett. He has to just judge. Well, he's trying the spin, but he wants to use the rail. The rail's a far easier shot, as far as I'm concerned. You hit the rail, and you hit it at the right point to kick the 2. Get a double kiss. Well, there's the luck you need at this time of the game. I'll tell you, we're getting all sorts of things going on here. So Gunnett, a little roll in the 4. And a roll down the rail in the 5, and this match is over. Well, Larry's only got himself to blame. Even in the short time we joined that match, he's missed 3 or 4 shots there, and Gunnett has shown the benefit of getting 5 and out, and he's won the match 7-6. So Larry's going to have to battle over on the 1 loss side. Now straight away, we won't mess about. We'll get into that semi-pro match with 1 pocket slim, and semi-pro's racing away. He's 3-0 up. Well, it looks like, well, we don't know how the match has gone so far other than the fact the semi-pro's up 3-0, but Slim's going to have to get wise by the looks of it. He's going to have to get mean and dirty if he's going to do anything to change his fortunes, I would think. You know, that shot that Larry played, that long distance Massey shot, that is so difficult to judge, because when you have an object ball, say, there, and the ball's over the pocket there, and that's, say, your object ball that you're hitting there, sorry, that's your cue ball, you've got to send that cue ball out. In fact, hold on, I'll do it the other way. I'll do it the freehand one. You have to send the cue ball out with the inside English, the left English, at the right pace for that cue ball to curve in. So you can't hit it too hard, because if you hit it too hard, you don't give it an opportunity for the spin to work. And everything about that shot was worked out perfect. Definitely the shot of the night. So difficult to play. That type of shot, you have to be playing this game for a number of years, and you play it instinctively. That's a simple answer. You play that instinctively. You just have the pace in your mouse and you play it. It either works or it doesn't. It's only ever going to be a disaster or a success, but the odds on it being a success were very slim. But anyway, One Pocket Slim has the mountain to climb. It's now gone 4-0. Semi-pro hooked in the one. Now, can he find a gap to get anywhere near that one? Well, he could actually play lots of right English. He's awkward over the 9. He could try spinning right English onto the rail and spinning into the one that way, but that's so difficult because he's looking down onto the 9 ball. Yeah, I still say Larry should get rid of that track ball. I've said that for a long while, because I still think Larry struggles for pace in certain shots with that track ball. I've tried track balls and absolutely hate them. Absolutely hate them with a passion. They don't give you any great feel for shots at all. So, One Pocket Slim. Well, he's not doing himself any favours here. I don't know whether he can billiard the 7 in. No, he's just trying to hide the cue ball. Hasn't got it. Well, that's another shot that's got me bewildered. I don't know what Slim was trying there. I haven't the foggiest idea. And the only good thing about it is it's went awkward. And now it's gone really awkward. The 4 and 9 are tied up. Well, Slim could get lots of spin on this, thin the one, send it there, and get that cue ball away up here and hide it in the corner. If he avoids a 9, he's got a good shot. And that's not a difficult shot to play, it's just avoiding the traffic to get the cue ball up there. So he's now in a strong position, because if Semi-Pro doesn't get anywhere near this one and doesn't hit anything, he can be looking at a 3 foul and out, but he's got a good hit, and that is such a good hit. Slim can't push the one away to a safe area. He can't make it awkward for semi-pro. Semi-pro, I think, can feather this. Let's have a look. Yes, he can. So from a very strong position there, it's all opened up a wee bit again. It was a good effort by semi-pro to hit that one. It wasn't easy to get at, to judge. Good evening. Another Twitch viewer has joined us. Now, Semi-Pro's lost his extension. He's used his extension, so he needs to be careful. He's not going to have much thinking time on any particular shot should it arise in the remainder of this rack, so he needs to be careful there. And that's a good shot. 2 tied up against the 7. So everything hinges on this 4 and 9 ball on the left hand rail. There's nothing happening in this rack until the 4 and 9 are moved. Semi-Pro is banked to 2. As I say, no great advantage in that. He's left himself an extremely thin edge on this 3 ball, which he's managed to get. Now Slim can try, he can be really ambitious here, Slim, and try the thin cut on that 3 with inside English to move the 4, and that's an excellent shot. That is extremely unlucky, because if he'd hit that any harder, that 4 would have been off the rail and he would have been looking at a much better shot than what he's got here. Well, you've just explained it, Potman, a long Massey on an object ball that was over the pocket. Well, that Bedhead can watch the rerun and you'll see it. So, well, that's a disaster for Slim. There's the worst possible outcome on kicking at that 4 ball, is to leave it stone dead combo on the 9. That's unbelievable. That is so unlucky. So, Semi-Pro goes to 5-0. And I think the cue ball's got... No, the cue ball's there. I thought the cue ball had gone. Well, what we've lost here, we've lost a 2 and a 5. They've gone. And no shot for Semi-Pro, but look at the danger ball here. There's the danger ball sitting in there. The 9 ball hanging over the pocket. And the billiard, that's an excellent shot by Semi-Pro. That was played. Managed to find a spin off the rail. Clip to 9. And he's 6-0 up. That is the second best shot of the night. Because you've got to be able to see those shots. I mean, that shot, you see that in your mind when you come to the table. That the angle off the object ball was going to take the cue ball into the rail, and it's just about judging the hit point on the 9 ball. So it's now 6-0. Now there's a result come in. DJ Redo, who we saw get moved over to the 1 loss side, he's won his match, or his first match, the 1 loss side against Christian, 1972. He's won it 4-2. So it's all over. This is an unbelievable disaster for Slim. Look at where the 1 and the 9 is. You've got to laugh. I mean, you've got to laugh or else you just burst out crying. That is unbelievable. And Slim moves over to the 1 loss side, and it's 7-zip to Semi-Pro. Well, I don't think much went right Slim in that match by the outcome. I think the score tells a story there in a big way. Black Jagged has beaten Houdini 7 racks to 5. That was a quick result that just popped in there before ours. So, right, here's where we are, folks. It's 9:45. My deadline, if you've watched often enough, is another 45 minutes time. So what we got now, we've got, I can't even read that name up there. My eyes are totally gone. Black Jagged's playing Gun It. And Semi-Pro is in the hot seat. That's basically where we are. So Semi-Pro can go away and put the kettle on and have a cup of tea. Because Black Jagged and Gun It are just about to start. So he's going to have a little break. He could have a 30-minute break here. Have a little rest. But meanwhile, in the one loss side, there's not a lot going to be happening until that match is done. We've got Columbus playing DJ Redo. And Columbus is getting... Is that the 6 ball? I think it's a 6 ball. Yes, it is. And down here in the bottom, we've got, in fact, One Pocket Slim can go and put the kettle on as well, because he's going to have a wait before he sees anybody. We've got Houdini and Killer Cat getting underway, and Killer Cat, I mean, my eyes are so bad, there is no way I can read that. Is that the 6 ball? No, he's getting a 7 and 8. Goodness me. He's going to have to change the colours in this bloody text on this tournament bracket for my eyes. Now, who else are we waiting on? Oh, well, wait a minute. I didn't even notice that match was underway. Right, so we've got Cobra and Larry in the one loss side. Race to 4. Cobra's up 2-0, and it's a scratch match. So something's going to have to give. Well, I think if we have a bedhead One Pocket Slim match, what you're going to have to do, guys, is you're going to have to put a password in the room, and I'll have to do it as a pay-per-view. And we'll split the difference. That's what we'll do. We'll have a pay-per-view. You can anybody that wants to watch it can use my PayPal Me account, and I'll take the payments, and then that'll go into the pot, and I'll pay out to the winner if you've got a PayPal account. Right, we could do that. I'd be more than happy to do that. Anybody that wants to watch the match pays $1 into my PayPal account, and then whatever money I make from the PayPal payments for the pay-per-view, then that goes to the winner of the match. I'll tell you, I'll come up with all the ideas. Anyway, back to this match. We've got an important match, the one loss side, race to 4. We've got Larry with ball in hand, so he should be looking at getting off the mark here, unless he blows it again. And, you know, watching Larry, it's like a time bomb. You know, we know how good he is, but, you know, strange things happen. It must be when I'm watching, but, you know, sometimes he just digs holes for himself. I think he's finished a bit straight on this 8 ball. Yep, he's going to have to... Well, he's going to either have to leave the long 9 into this pocket up here, or do something with the cue ball, and he's chosen to do something with the cue ball. Lots of spin on it and stun off the rail. So this is Larry's first rack in this match. Still winner breaks in the one loss side, of course. So Larry, now that break that Larry's done there, for anybody that's watching, Larry has broke like that in virtual pool in all the years I've seen him play. He always breaks and the cue ball comes off the pack and comes back into the kitchen. And if he gets it wrong, he's scratching. But most of the time, he doesn't. He always draws back to the bottom rail on the break. He's played that for 20 odd years. Or 20 years, or however long it is, since the virtual pool came out, 1995. Well, that's 23 years, isn't it? As I say, I've never seen him change that break. You know, maybe if it isn't working some nights, he might change it, but that's the break he always falls back on. So Larry has his chance. Now, well, he's plenty of room here and a good angle in the 3. All he needs to make sure is he doesn't run into the 7. So he avoids the 7 and gets back up the table. And it's going to be a 5-9 combo if he gets the 4. That's the plan here. Right, now. Well, this is the problem from where he is now. Does he try and go over on the rail? Does he try and come off there, out and across for this 5? Or does he leave a long cut onto the 9 with the 5? That's the dilemma, because he's not got a great angle in the 4. He's gonna have to punch this a fair bit if he's going to get that cue ball closer to the 5. And he's trying to get it as straight as he can, but it's still going to be a cut. Now, 9 times out of 10 he's going to get this, because he's going to play it dead weight onto the 9 just to let the pocket take the 9 ball in. This is not necessarily unmissable, but I'd be surprised if he missed it. Well, I'm surprised. Well, there's a bit of luck for him. Double kiss has done him a favour. And Larry's just let out a sigh of relief. Because that was hanging stone dead. But the more important thing is, he's back to 2-all. The 2 and the 3 have gone in the break. He's got a 1-6 combo. Yeah, my channel, this is as big as it will grow. It certainly is. Now, how's he done in this 4? Well, it's going to be a long shot in the 5 if he doesn't try and get too ambitious with this 4. He could actually brush off the 9 here. It looks like it, unless he stuns it. Yes, he just brushed off the 9, and that's just straightened him up on the 5. So he's looking good. Now, all he needs is to fall closer to the rail or higher than the 7. So he's got an angle either way, and he's got the angle higher than the 7. So he can just come up for the 8 into the same pocket. Now, it's the same problem again, folks. Look at where the 9 is, right? Now, Larry wants to finish anywhere here, and he's got a good cut in the 9. Or there. That's even better. He doesn't want to go here. That's the place you don't want to go. And he's got a good angle in the 8 to get into this zone here. This is the zone he wants to get in, and that's the one he doesn't want to get in. Let's see if he does it. And that is pretty nigh perfect. Right on the end of the arrow, and he's looking right down the barrel of the 9 ball. So Larry now, from 2-0 down, and a wee bit of luck, has gone into the lead and has the break. And there's another result through. Now that 7 ball, I think, went into the left middle. The 1 and the 9 are tied up. Killer Cat and Houdini, and Killer Cat has won 4-0. Now, what's Larry trying? Is he going for the bank? It looks like it. He's lining up the angle in the bank. And he's played it perfect. And he's perfect on this too. There is no way he can't get on this 3 ball. The angle is so good. Right around the corner, off this end rail, side rail, and into this big area over here. Anywhere in this zone, he's going to have a shot in the 3. He's got to get there. And he needs the angle though. He can't be square. I think he's straight. So now he's just going to have to chicken out and roll through and leave an awkward 4 and look where the 5 is. This is going a bit pear-shaped at the moment. Is he going to try and squeeze something in this 3? No, there's nothing he can do. He's just got to roll through. And there lies the problem. And this shot here, he has an angle. He can pot the 4, he can bash into the rail and try and get the cue ball out. He needs to avoid the 9. I don't know whether he's going to try and pinch a bit of an angle. Yeah, that's the problem. And it's, as I say, it's gone pear-shaped. And that was back to that shot where he was trying to get on the 3. He simply didn't want to finish straight, and he did the cardinal sin and finish straight. And he's out of line. And he's trying to get the 5 as thin as possible and get the distance. Well, that's handy. I think Cobra's going to be hampered slightly maybe by the 8 ball. Although it doesn't look like it from there. No, he's okay. So, well, this is anybody's now, this rack. It's either going to go all the way. Well, that's perfect. Absolutely stone dead. Perfect bank in the 5. Maybe a bit more angle in the 8 than he wanted. This is a wee tweaker. This is going to test the old sphincter muscle. Now, if he avoids running into the 9, he can come out behind it. And he's avoided. See, there's the problem. It's the problem I keep telling you all every week. Going behind the object ball. Lower than the object ball, and you're cutting into that blind pocket. And that's the gift that Larry was waiting on. So Larry is going to battle on with a little help from his opponent. And Cobra's going to have to try again next week. Larry wins the match 4 racks to 2. Right, so the time now is just after 5 to 10. Let's have an update on what's happening here. Well, we've got Black Jagged, who is playing Gunnet on a scratch match. Black Jagged's 2 racks to 1 up. And on the 1 loss side, we've got... well, that's still to update, I think, isn't it? Oh no, Larry has updated. He was playing Cobra, so Larry's now playing Killer Cat. And no prizes for guessing. Killer Cat's going to get 5 and out, so Larry's got a tough ask in that match. But in the meantime, and I think for the first time tonight, we're going to see Black Jagged and Gunnet. And I will say now, this is going to be the last match. Oh, that was so close to a combo onto the 9. I don't even know whether he played the combo onto the 9. I think he might have just played the bank straight up and down on the 7. But Black Jagged has a chance to pot these 3 balls. And provided he can get good on the 8, which he has done, it should be fairly cut and dried, this 8 and 9, to open up a gap. Right. Well, while Black Jagged's breaking off, let's have another look at this bracket here. Right, Semi-Pro is waiting to play the winner of this match, and then whoever that's going to be the hot seat match to see who gets the final. And there's still a fair few matches to go ahead on the one loss side, so this tournament's got a good, certainly bearing in mind the finals are race to 9, it's got a good 90 minutes left, this tournament, and it's only just gone 10 o'clock, or pretty much near enough 10 o'clock. And meanwhile, I don't know what happened there, but Gunnet has very quickly responded and got back to within 1 rack. Well, last week's tournament went 4 hours, last Friday night, so this week it looks very likely that they could do the same. Unfortunately, I won't be here to see that. I will be in Beddy by Cloud Cuckoo Land at that time. Now, what I mentioned earlier, no, I think we did see Black Jagged earlier. But the biggest problem I can see that Boris has is his control of pace on shots. There are certain shots where he's overhitting them, and it's all down to the comfort that you get when you're playing these shots by having your mouse dialed in. It's a broken record. It's a thing I go over and over and over and over every week, that every player, whoever wants to play this game, but not only play this game but get better at it, has to work on their speed control on shots. But so far, it's working okay in this little run. But this is a tester. Now, he's dead straight in a 5. So this needs either a little soft run through to take the 7 into the middle, which is no good to go on to the 8, or a little drawback. Now, that little drawback he's played is actually not bad at all. And it's just putting that tip of the cue just below the equator a tad and using the stun to generate that little drawback where it's not firing it up the table. You're just taking that little kick off the object ball and back a few inches, and he played that perfectly. And he's judged that one well as well. Now, maybe he's warming up here. Maybe Boris is finding his pace. But he was a wee bit raggedy earlier on, but he's done well there. That was very comfortable. And he's opened a gap again. 4 racks to 2. Well, that 2 ball was going to go in until it kissed against the cue ball. But the 4 ball's gone in. Well, very thin cut down the rail past the 7 ball, if he wants to be brave. Oh, he's getting dirty. That's what I like to see. That's a nasty little safety. I like to see somebody playing some nasty safety shots. Oh, Gunnet's skimmed into the 2 ball, trying to make an angle that wasn't there to get to the 1. And all he's done is opened up the table for Black Jagged. He split any balls that were tied up, and he's now opened up the table. Well, the 1, the 2 and the 3 shouldn't be difficult, because he just needs to roll the 2 in and he's got the 3. But the important thing with this 3 ball is getting the right angle, that you can pot the 3 and just hold for the 5. Now let's see what he's got. Well, he's perfect. He's just looking to find that little gap. He can run off the rail and come out. So this is about being confident in your pace. Now you see, he's taken the other option, which is the safety side option, and found a big gap. And he's got a good angle as well. Where's the cue ball going? Well, now this is a tester. But if he went into the big open safety area there, which was a surefire way of making sure he got on the 5, which was the right way to play it. Well, there's a couple of ways to play this shot. The simple one's to force follow and run through off the end rail and get out. And now this is where you have to make your decision. The right shot would be pot the 8 ball and cue ball off the rail for the 9. And that's well played, right on the arrow. Well, this is the most impressive I've seen Boris play for a wee while. He's 5-2 up, but I'll tell you what, he's going to have to be just as impressive should he end up playing semi-pro in his next match. And he's going to have to make use of that handicap he's going to get if he wins. But he's 5-2 up. And like I said before, there's stranger things happen in these 9-ball games. I'll gun it. Comes to the table. It's a dry break, so he's just looking to push out. And he's just given Black Jagged a gift of a start here. Now, any other day of the week, I would say that Black Jagged's chances of running this rack were slim. Well, they're even slimmer now, because he's nudged the 2 safe, but every ball was there for the taking. And I was looking forward to him actually trying to run out there, but that's not going to happen. But he's played the next best thing. He's got a decent enough safety. Oh, that's unlucky. A good kick. The cue ball spun in. So ball in hand. So a second opportunity already for Black Jagged. Now, don't hook yourself behind the 7, whatever you do. That's the golden rule with this shot. Make sure you get a shot in the 3. Now, I went on to Facebook earlier on, and on the main Facebook page where, you know, your friends and groups that you're in, you'll see stuff on the main page. I was actually, it's a good thing I scrolled down. And a game that I've been following since early development, at least 5 years, a game called, originally the actual production name was Kart Sim, originally. And then they decided to call it Kartcraft, Kartkraft. Well, I had been following the developer's Facebook page. I'd signed up for emails and everything from their website, and their website, the last thing it actually mentioned was about a closed beta. This was more than 2 years ago. And I signed up for it, and they selected a certain amount of people, and I wasn't one of them. I never get chosen. So they had a closed beta of this game, and there was the sort of intro video on YouTube and on their website. And then after that, we heard absolutely nothing. And even if you went to their forum was dead. and there was nothing from the developers. 2 years, they're absolutely stone dead nothing, and everybody thought it was dead, and I thought, well, this game's died a death, that's it, gone, they've run out of money or whatever. And lo and behold, today, if I hadn't scrolled down the Facebook page, there's a big long post by the developer telling the story as to how they came to this stage, and how during the beta testing of the game they weren't happy with the physics, they weren't happy with a number of things in the way that the actual game was set up for races and things, and they basically went away and stripped it all back and more or less started from scratch again. They had the basics there, but they went away and started it all from scratch, and lo and behold, on the end of the post, the guy says, aye, we're putting it on early access on November the 1st. Well, what a surprise that was for me, because I love kart racing games. I did kart racing for, what, 3 years on the PS3, when I was racing through the night with the American and Canadian guys that we had in a group, and we had leagues and everything. It was brilliant. And I'd been keeping my eye on this game for a while, and lo and behold, it's suddenly going to be launched. Now that tells you one or two things. They're either just desperate to get it out there and it's still shit, or it's going to be great. It's going to be one of the two, but it's going to be neither in between. Anyway, back to the match. I'm waffling on here. That's the next game on my list. It hasn't got a price yet, which is the other surprising thing. So there's only a few days away from the game being launched, and there's not a price on Steam yet. But it's on there. If you go to early access and then type in the search Kartcraft, Kartkraft, you'll see the intro video. But say it's no good to anybody else if you don't like kart racing. I think kart racing's brilliant, and it's got all the, you know, they say it's got all the physics and everything all sorted now, but that remains to be seen. But no doubt I'll have the game downloaded and installed. It's going to be like 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't know whether he said Pacific or whether that was GMT, but on the 1st of November. But I will have it installed. I can guarantee you that. I don't care what it is. I've waited long enough for the damn thing to come out, and I'll probably do some disastrous videos on it as well. Right, so we're back to this match. As I say, folks, a quick reminder, this is going to be the last match. I'm not going to do any more after this. Black Jagged's up 6-2, and yes, it's on Steam. Yeah, it's going to be released in Steam on November the 1st. Now, a quick reminder as well, guys, there's a wee thing. If ever you actually get interested in this kart racing, because you've got kart racing and Automobilista, which I've got, but I can never race with anybody because nobody's ever online in it. I've got kart racing on Project Cars. I don't have Project Cars 2 because I tried it and it was crap, and Project Cars, nobody ever raced the karts in it either. I can never find anybody who is interested, or a group of people. I was lucky to find that in the PlayStation when I had Gran Turismo, and we used to do the kart racing in it. And I've also got R Factor 2, which I've had for years, since it was in early access a long while ago. And I've got kart racing in it, but I can never find a group of people on it to race with either. But I've actually got a website, an actual league program on a website that Shibo made for me, which since I've formatted my PC, I've lost the link to it, but I'll get him to give it to me. But I've got an actual a league site where I can set up races and set up a season and everything. Oh, I've been gaming since, as I said, I'll tell you how I get into gaming. Very simple. Virtual Pool 4, or to cut a long story short, Virtual Pool, when it first came out, that's when I get into gaming. And I'm talking about just before the turn of the 90s, originally. I had always said, well, why would I need a computer? When I used to work at the electrical retailer Curry's, I said, why do I need a computer? I'll never use it. And I said, the biggest mistake I ever made in my life was saying to a couple of the guys in the store, the only way I'll ever have a computer was if I get a cheap one and I get a bargain. That's the only way I'll ever get one. So to cut a long story short with that, they called my bluff. I got a cheap computer and that got me hooked. And I started with a computer. I think the first game I got was Lynx Golf. And I'll tell you, that's why I then ended up buying a decent computer, because Lynx Golf, the graphics wouldn't run properly on the computer that I had, because it was a shitty graphics card that was on it. You know, it was just on the motherboard or whatever. It wasn't a dedicated card, it was just a piece of crap. And because Lynx Golf wouldn't run properly on it, I went out and bought a half-decent computer so I could play it. And that was it. And then, of course, back then, we used to play... I'm sure you guys have heard of Operation Flashpoint, because when I used to play with some of the guys that I work with online. We used to play Operation Flashpoint on the big maps, the military game. And but the thing was, I was playing online with a 56k modem, and we used to go on and look for rooms where we could play. And of course, you'd see a room and it would be a 300 millisecond ping, and you think, oh, brilliant. That's not too bad, there won't be much lag. And you'd go into the room, you'd play for 2 seconds, and the guys in it would say, oh, to hell with that, and boot you out the room because your ping was so crap. Because it was a while before we get decent internet in our area. But that was the first game I really got into to start with. And then I had Virtual Pool, of course, and I was hooked on Virtual Pool. And I came online for the first time with Virtual Pool 3, and when would that have been? Virtual Pool 3 was launched in November 90 it was. And I was up in Glasgow. I went to the game store, a computer game store, and I saw this Virtual Pool thing in the window, this black box. And I thought, oh, you know, because I've always, I mean, back then I was playing snooker regularly in the club. And I thought, oh, I like the idea of that, playing billiards or whatever it is on the computer. And I saw that it had snooker on it as well, this Virtual Pool 3. I thought, right, I'm for that. Who the hell's Jeanette Lee? I'd never heard of her. But anyway, I got this game and that was me, totally hooked with Virtual Pool 3. And then once I got that in November 1990, I had messed about with it offline and practiced and all that stuff before I had enough nerve to then see about getting this GameSpy working and getting online. And the first guy that I ever played with online was a guy called Kudos. I'll always remember his name, Qudos. Now, I don't know whether he's ever a guy that ever changed his name to somebody else, but I've never seen him since the early days of Virtual Pool 3. And he was the very first guy that I played online. Of course, he tanned my ass because I hadn't a clue. But he also taught me into joining the VIP ladder, which I signed up for. And we used to play loads of ladder matches. Everybody was interested in the ladder matches and the VIP ladder. We did that. And then I expanded to other games that I tried. And then and pretty much every year that I worked in Curry's, maybe every second or third year, I would just buy a new computer. And I would sell the other one. And at each time I'd get a better computer with better RAM, more memory, better graphics card. And then I am where I am today. So I've been playing games for well over 20 years. Anyway, I've ranted enough. We're still at 6-2 here. What the hell's happened in this rack? Well, it's now 6-3. I think it will be my bedtime by the time this match is over. Oh, we used to have a great... I mean, when you think about it, back in the day when we played Operation Flashpoint, you know, you'd see a tank coming over the hill, or you'd see a soldier running towards you, and you'd go and shoot him, and the next thing you'd realise he was 20 yards past you and you hadn't shot him because he's jumping all over the place. See, the lag was so bloody bad. and the internet connections were so crap, but we still enjoyed it. we still had a great time, even though it was so shitty. And it was something you'd never accept that nowadays, but it was so crap. But we used to have a great time. We used to be in tears. Oh, I'd be totally lost with my computer. I mean, my Avid computers pack in on me. Avid computers, the graphic card blew up. I can't remember what game I was playing. But all of a sudden, on the screen, it was all hatched lines. And of course, the first thing you do is panic and switch the computer off. So I switched it off, switched the computer on, and then, you know, the thing happens again, and it keeps happening. So the graphics card was fried, and this is how lost I am without a computer. Right, the computer graphics card blew up. And now I don't know nothing about fitting graphics cards, motherboards and stuff like that. It's the same as a car. I drive a car and I know nothing about them. If it breaks down, I know there are people out there that you pay for that fix cars. Well, I know the same thing with computers. So this graphics card fried, and within 90 minutes, the PC was in the car, down to the local guy. Graphics card was fitted, new graphics card, and it was back up and running within 2 hours. That's how desperate I get without the computer. I mean, it's like kids nowadays with a mobile. It's not just kids. Everybody you see with a mobile phone, they'll get their head down walking into lampposts. I have a phone, but I don't use it. I only use it at work because we've got an app on it for checking stock at work. But I'm exactly the same, but with the computer. I mean, the other day there, when I got when the computer, I needed to format it. I think I got a virus or whatever, and I can't even work out how I got it. But I decided anyway. I didn't like the fact that my SSD drive was filling up, and because I hadn't moved my documents folder and everything, to cut a long story short, I formatted the PC and reinstalled Windows, and everything's fine. And I've got all the folders in the right place now on my second drive for all my Steam stuff and everything. And everything's all hunky-dory now. Because there's not a lot on the PC anyway. Even though I've got a lot of games on Steam, I've only got 3 games installed on Steam. Oh, what the hell's happened there, Gunnit? Well, that's game over. It's going to be game over and good night, folks. Yeah, I've only got American Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator, and Virtual Pool 4 reinstalled again. Everything else is lying there dormant, not getting used. Right, so Black Jagged marches on with the help of his opponent, and he's won by 7 racks to 3. Well, see, the thing is, the SSD drive, well, put it this way, I've got all my games running on my main, I've got my C drive, which is the SSD, and I've got the D drive, which is my big 2 terabyte hard drive that's in the PC. I've got all my games running on there and everything runs fine, never any problem. Right, let's have a last update, folks, before I head to bed. You can see this tournament's got a fair bit to go. As I said, you've got at least 90 minutes to go yet, including the final. Black Jagged is now through to play semi-pro. Black Jagged, well, there's a good handicap. He's getting a 5 ball. The question is whether he gets an opportunity to use it. And that will see who gets to tonight's final. And over in the one-loss sides, we've got a few things going on. Gunnit is playing DJ Redo right now. And Killer Cat is playing One Pocket Slim. And Killer Cat getting 5 and out is already up 2-1. So Slim's going to have to work hard. And with that, folks, I would... well, SSD drives, you know, to me it's fine for running Windows. Windows loads better. That's about it. Because I don't want to save a lot of stuff on it. Because, you know, if I start putting mods into Euro Truck, all the stuff was going into my documents originally, and I hadn't a clue. I'd forgot that my documents thing was all on what do you call it, on the SSD drive, and I'm looking at it, and the SSD drive is filling up and filling up, because I had goodness knows how many gigs worth of mods for Euro Truck and American Truck all installed. So with that format, I've moved the documents folder over to my main hard drive, the big 2 terabyte one, and now that's freed up all the space on my SSD drive for just Windows to run, basically. I've got nothing else on it other than, I think, my antivirus, which I prefer probably doing it that way. And the PC runs fine, and the games all run fine, no matter whether they're on the SSD drive or on the second drive. Anyway, it's now bedtime, chaps. I'm going to say thanks for your company, thanks for joining us again, and I will bid you good night, and hopefully you'll stay and watch the end of the tournament. I'll have a look at the result tomorrow, and I will be back again soon, no doubt. We will see you again soon, so good night, folks.